So I want to show you how to make one of these reusable sandwich bags really quickly. They're really cool and obviously green friendly, and just a way to reduce how much plastic you're contributing to the waste. So these fold over and they're really secure the way they fold over. Nothing really falls out or anything like that. The outside is 100% pre-washed cotton. I pre-washed. It's printed. And then the inside is 100% ripstop nylon. And it makes it really easy to turn it inside out. Super quick like that. You can wipe it with a washcloth or a damp sponge whenever you need to, and then just hang it up by, your dishes to air dry overnight when needed. And then really easily, you could just fold it back into place. This is the sandwich bag size, but you can tailor it to make like gallon size bags or make little snack size bags really simply. So you just need some cotton of choice. Like a half of yard of cotton should make like 3 sandwich bags. So like a fat quarter. And the same amount of nylon. The 100% ripstop nylon. I got it at the craft store, and I think it was like $8 a yard. So what you're gonna do is you're going to cut a piece of both of those things. This is 14 inches long and 6.5 inches wide. The sandwich part of our bag is gonna be 6 inches, and then there's a 2-inch top for the flap. You're gonna lay them right sides together, and I'm holding them together with quilting clips because pins kind of leave holes and I don't want the holes, and it's just easier. So to get started, you're going to sew with like a 3/8 seam allowance, like just small seam allowance is all you really need, down the short ends of both sides like this. I'm just gonna back stitch a little bit and then go forward. I also want to note that nylon and other thin fabrics like this are pretty hard to sew with if you're sewing them alone. Fabric's really fraying. So when you do sew these first steps, you're gonna want your cotton to be the one that's on the bottom going over the wheels on your sewing machine. It'll just make your life a lot easier. It tends to get bunched up and not want to move across the little tracks there if you do it otherwise. So this little bottom part isn't exactly lined up, so we're just gonna do from this line down, if you guys follow what I'm saying. Oh. There we go. So you're going to take this out, and then you can use a rotary cutter if you'd like. I'm just going to use my scissors, and I'm just going to trim down close to the stitching, but not, obviously being careful to not get the stitching, because you don't need all that extra. Even on this side, I'm going to do that as well. Okay, next I'm going to get my ruler out. And I'm gonna fold this. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna fold it inside out. And now this is what the inside of the bag will look like, and this is the outside of the bag. I did run this with an iron, but when I make it again, I think I'll make sure that it's completely wrinkle free. So I'll just keep this one for myself. But the next step that you want to do is come to the top here, and I just like to roll it so that it's nice and smooth on the top. And then I'm not sure if I can put the iron on the nylon. I haven't looked it up, so I'm just not going to. But usually I would press this on a low setting with the iron. And then I'm just going to feed it through the machine and just like top stitch both ends like this. You want to cut? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I went ahead and did the top and bottom with the top stitch, as you can see here. I'm just using white thread because I like the way that it looks. So you're going to put your ruler against it, and I'm going to stop when it says 2 inches here. And then that'll leave 6 inches of space for the bag. And then this will be our top flip top part. I don't know what you want to say about that. But so you're folding it in half like this, and then you're going to fold this straight over. And this is right sides out. So now that's folded over. I'm going to use my clips to clip everything into place where I like it. And then I think I can find that. And then I'm just going to straight stitch down the same seam allowance on both of these ends here. And then we'll do that here. And as always, I'm going to start with a little back stitching. Take this. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm also going to do the same thing where I trim off this excess. It makes the bag folding process a lot easier, not to have all this extra trim. So go on to the other side, and you're just going to sew straight down over the lid and everything, and then trim the excess off the sides. Alright, so now we're going to do a French seam. You've already done the stitching on both sides. On this side I've done the French seam, and that's just going to prohibit fraying from the cotton and make it all clean and beautiful. So to do that, you're just going to flip it out, inside out, which is really easy to do. Make sure your corners are poked out as much as you can get them to be. And now your flap should be on the inside, which is fine. That's what you want. You're going to flatten it out as much as you can. And now you're going to run a straight seam down the side, just like we've been doing. And I'd mentioned before about how nylon is kind of hard to go over the tracks and feed into your machine. You shouldn't have that issue now because of how thick the project is, so it's really going to help push over the tracks. So I'm just going to back stitch and then feed it through like normal. Perfect. Just going to... And now if you wanted to, like if you put a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in here for your kid and the jelly leaked out, you take it home, you get a washcloth or a damp sponge and you clean it off, and then you can just set it out to air dry like this. and it's fine. And then you can keep using it, keep reusing it. Now you just poke everything back out. And you've got your little sandwich bag all ready to go. Perfect seams and everything. Just get these ones off. But there you've got it. Perfectly functional and useful and green friendly sandwich bag. You can use these the same way that you'd use regular sandwich bags for little odds and ends or snacks throughout the day. And I also encourage you that if you do sew or you have extra fabric laying around, to try to do some stash busting and use whatever fabric that you have, because you know, going zero waste and being green is all about using what you have already. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of new stuff to have like really trendy looking zero waste things. So I implore you to use what you have for now, and you know, make some for friends and family and encourage them to use it. And just know that whatever you're doing to try to reduce your footprint, you're doing the best that you can, and you should be proud of yourself. All right, have a good day.